Yo, what's poppin'? This trade will be a live trade that hits stop loss. Excuse me. This is the trade. We took two trades today. We went 1-for-1. Or, well, 1-for-2. Here's the one trade. We secured a 1 to 5.67. This trade, we took an L on it. It was a 1 to 3.5. This would have been a beautiful trade. A+ setup, honestly. Can't do nothing about this one. I mean, I'll go over this one already. You guys will see that in the live trade. But, whatever. This is the trading recap I wanted to go over today. We took this trade before market open. It was at about around 9 a.m. I didn't wait for 9:30 because, well, we were forming a setup already. And we also had news at 9:45. So I wanted to just wait until 9:45 news came out to see what market was going to do. So I just took a trade before market open at around 9:12, 9 a.m. But let's go over this real quick. So down here, we had actually a 5-minute order block. I'll go to the 5-minute here and show you. So here's the 5-minute order block here. We also had a 5-minute bullish for a value gap or imbalance. And I had that marked out for a price target. And on the 1-minute, we'll come into here. You'll see we got a buy side liquidity sweep. We have a market structure shift. We formed a bearish fair value gap. Came down into this bullish fair value gap. So we're using this bullish fair value gap as support. And now we're potentially going to use this bearish fair value gap as resistance. We came up into this bearish fair value gap for a pullback. That's where I entered 3 contracts. And right here, I sold 1/3 of those contracts due to the support we were showing on this fair value gap. So this could have easily reversed on us. So I sold 1 contract just to be safe. We came back up into this bearish fair value gap, and then we just shit the bed. So a lot of orders must have came in for sells. And as you can see, we just shit the bed. Came up, dropped down into this previous target that I had marked out, the order block and the imbalance. Also taking out this sell side liquidity. And all of this generated sell side liquidity over here. For a 1 to 5.6. Beautiful trade. Great fucking trade, honestly. Happened fast. As you can, I mean, like within 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Like 6 minutes this trade happened. And we secured pretty much a 5.6 RR. So that trade, beautiful trade. I'm happy. But if we come over here, I'm kind of upset about this one. I'm not going to lie. I'm actually fucking pissed. I'm fucking upset about this one. Not enough to be like down and out for the whole fucking day. The reason I'm not going to be is because I followed the rules. I followed my rules. I followed my edge. There's nothing I can do. This was an A+ setup, and it just didn't work today. Not much you can do. But I'm going to go over this trade, and you guys are going to be like, oh my God. And please, please, let me know in the comments if there was anything that you guys noticed that I should have probably not did, or if I should have waited for another confluence. Because I'm sitting here and I'm waiting. I'm like, what could I have done to potentially either not have gotten into this trade or waited to get in this trade? The only thing I can notice is I usually have a rule for myself that I notice I actually didn't follow. I like to take 1 contract. I like to sell 1/3 of the 3 contracts that I have. So at least I like to take 1 contract out right when we get in the profit, just in case for reversals. That's what I did here. I did not do that when we were up here. Man, we had fuck. All right, let's go over it. First, have a buy side liquidity sweep. Formed an order block, which is right here, this candle, which is the sweep of liquidity, that candle. Swept liquidity, which then turns into our order block. If you don't know how to spot order blocks, I actually have a video over order blocks that I'll put at the end of this video. But first, which this trade will also be live. This will be a live trade. I'll post a live trade. You'll see everything, my emotions, how everything's going, but blah, blah, blah. But yeah, formed an order block, came down, also formed a fair value gap, which you're probably wondering that's not a fair value gap. That's another point. I could have probably waited for a stronger fair value gap. But what are you going to do? We also right here have a market structure shift. So showing that the trend wants to potentially reverse. Now we come up. I haven't entered yet. Break through this fair value gap to then come back up to test it. This is where I entered. Now, I wasn't going to enter until the second market structure shift. But for some reason, my limit order put me in up here, which is another reason I'm like, bro, what the fuck? So whatever, that is what it is. So now we're just consolidating, right? We're consolidating, we come up, and then this is where I'm like, okay, bet, I think we're going to have the move now. This is where we're going to hit take profit. Let's run with it. We have a huge fucking bearish engulfing candle. I mean, it just takes out all of these candles. We got like what? Fucking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. This is like 13 minute of market structure that one candle in 1 minute just completely destroys, right? Pretty bearish in my opinion. And we get another fucking market structure shift. A little one, but it's still a market structure shift. So right here, I'm up. I believe I was up around maybe like $50 or $45. I could have sold 1/3 of my contracts just to be safe, you know, just in case, which I usually like to do because I noticed at least 20 to 30% of my losing trades, this just so happened to be one of them, always comes into profit. So that's why I'd like to sell one contract just to shorten my stop loss or shorten my loss and bring in a couple bucks, you know. Still, the loss is bigger than the win, or well, than the one contract that I sell, but it's still going to shorten my loss by a significant amount. We also had this bullish fair value gap that I wanted to break through and use at an inverse fair value gap, but as you can see, it was just too damn strong. And we used it as a bullish fair value gap for support. Now, me going over these trading recaps, I just now noticed it probably would have been better if I would have completely just waited for this to break structure to then use it as an entry, as an inverse fair value gap, to then target my targets, to then target sell side liquidity. So instead, it would have looked like this: a 1 to 2.9 break structure, come down, pull back, enter, to then go. I think that would have been much better. And I would have been way more happier with that entry. But that's not what we did. And that could potentially have just fucked us right there, you know? So going through your trades, you see where you went wrong, where you could have done better. But it came down into the bullish for value gap. Fucking came right back up, man. I knew right with this candle, I had a feeling. I was like, fuck. We're probably going to hit stop loss, boys. I even said that in the live video. If you watch this, I'll link both videos. I'll link the order block video and this live video at the end of this trading recap. But, I mean, what? We're up 4% for the day, so whatever. This was a fucking minor loss. 1%. We made 5%, so we're up 4% for the day. But, man, we had equal lows. Sell side, equal lows again. And we could have potentially wanted to rebalance into this order block and this imbalance right here. Would have been a killer trade. I'm honestly waiting for another entry to see if we could potentially shift structure to then come down. But I don't know. I'm not feeling like we are going to. But I'm going to journal up these trades, put them in the trading journal here, and that's that. Hopefully you guys enjoyed these videos. Bro, we hit, I think we're at like 208 subscribers. So that's pretty cool. Let's get after it. Keep growing. Appreciate you guys. As always, peace out. Happy trading.